Hey guys, this is Sean Waller, also known as Sean Your Realtor. Continue to educate yourself because this business is always evolving. Just continue to learn. With it, talk to you guys later. Welcome to the Strictly Free Game Podcast. I am Sean Waller, also known as Sean Your Realtor. Whatever you call me, just make sure you call me. That's my line.
I love it. I love that.
I am here. Before we even introduce him, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button, all that good stuff. Get the algorithm going, all that good stuff. I got my guy here. Diamond Law is in the building. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. I'm not even gonna do the introduction. I want to do it the wrong way.
So Diamond Law Group, Jonathan Bellezza. I'm a partner there. We have 2 partners, 2 associates, and about 12 staff members. So we're a pretty big operation in terms of real estate, and I think that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Diamond Law. So I was introduced to Diamond Law last year. I've always heard about Diamond Law, but Stacy, my girl Stacy McFadden. What's up, Stace? She introduced me to Diamond Law. Yeah, Stacy's that's my girl. And I work with a few attorneys, but I'm gonna say Diamond Law is at the top of my attorney list. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even saying it because because the mafia suit. Like, that's my guy. But Diamond Law is, you guys do things a little different.
We do.
Break it down. What you do, brother?
All right. So I feel that the biggest complaint about attorneys is that they're unresponsive, whether it be real estate or otherwise. I mean, everybody hates attorneys. Let's face it. So we take the opposite approach. Everybody says they're unresponsive. We kind of over communicate. I think you've experienced that, almost to our detriment, because some attorneys really hate it. I don't feel they should, but you know, it's a proactive approach. So we overly communicate. We're very transparent with the clients. We tend to blind copy the clients on communications to keep them in the loop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which they, per my feedback on social media and just review sites, that people really appreciate it. So, you know, we're in a different era now. It used to be that, you know, the attorney just handles it. You pass the file to him, they close it, that's it. But now with millennials, and I am a millennial, even though I have a receding hairline, I am a millennial. I'm 36 years old, in case you were wondering. But now everybody wants to be communicated with. They want full transparency. Millennials want that. They want the communication. They want to see all the emails, and they want to know why.
They want to know why.
And they want to know why. They don't want it just the attorney to tell them, well, this is the way it is, and that's how it's going to be. People don't take word for it anymore. They want to know, they want the explanation, and that's, in our practice, that's totally anticipated, and it's totally acceptable, and it's totally understandable. Right. So that's how we operate, and we keep our referral partners in the loop as well, because we're all trying to close the transactions.
Exactly. And like you say, you could sometimes I'm like, oh, another email from Diamond Law, but I love that though. I'm not gonna lie, because you know, sometimes you don't get used, you're not used to it if your attorney's not doing that. But when I see it, I'm like, all right. And sometimes I get those emails sporadic, different times.
Yes. So my day begins usually at like 4 a.m. I wake up, I exercise for an hour in the morning, and then I clear out my inbox. So that's why you see the random emails. I also work early mornings on the weekends before my 3 children get up, because once that happens,
it's just chaos.
Yeah. So, you know, the blind copying and the keeping the agents and the clients in the loop, to be honest with you, it's kind of self-serving. I do it for a number of reasons, but first and foremost, it reduces my call volume. Every day, without fail, I get calls, especially on files that are being negotiated to go into contract. Without fail, I get a call from the client, then the agents, then the loan officer if it's a purchase, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, where are we? So if I send out follow-up correspondence before 9 o'clock, before people even open their eyes in most instances, and that's true, it's the first email in the inbox. And the clients are on it, the agents are on it, so everybody knows what we're trying to accomplish that day. And it reduces my call volume. People aren't calling because the file already got touched. And here's the second reason I do it. It reduces your call volume, and you're my referral partner. So instead of the client, for whatever reason clients are nervous to call their attorney, which they should never feel nervous, but they are. And they reach out to
us.
You. And they're like, hey, agent, what's going on with my deal? Can you find out? And then you say, well, did you see the email from before 9 o'clock from Diamond Law Group today? Oh no, let me check my emails. And then they do. And then they get trained to check their emails, usually daily on not in contract. And we have a succinct follow-up list as well, the way we do it. So it reduces call volume. It helps us all do a little bit more business, and it's just by simply communicating.
It's all about communication. You guys have like an online portal that you use as well.
We do. So in addition to the emails where we keep you in the loop, we also have an online portal for our clients, our agents, our loan officers. Everybody gets a username and password, whether you're on our side of the transaction or not. And so as a young guy, that's how I developed a lot of my business, was I copy both agents, because like I said before, we're all moving towards a common goal. So of course, on non-confidential confidential communications, I owe duty to my client. But on simple follow-up, hey, when's the appraisal being completed? I know that an agent who's blind copied, whether it's my agent or the other agent, will then push to get it scheduled because they're like, hey, we're 2 weeks into contract and it's still not scheduled.
Still not scheduled, yeah.
So in addition to the communication, we have the online portal, and you have 11 steps, and they're automatic. So I upload documents. When we get a contract, I upload it. We get an email notice. We received the contract, and everybody gets that, the agent, the client, et cetera. When we review it, we sent out revisions. When we get the commitment, that's not uploaded because it's confidential, but we tell people, we got the commitment, because at that point, the buyer's bound to the transaction. And again, it's just simple communication, and we feel that our agents and our referral partners, and obviously our clients, really appreciate it.
They love it.
They're not in the dark.
Let's backtrack, because you just say you're 36 millennial. What the hell made you get into real estate law?
that is a good question. So I started off in customer service. I was in the restaurant industry for many, many years. I bartended my way through law school and college. I'm very close with the owner. I'm actually going there next week for some networking with some real estate agents. So I was bartending. In the course of bartending, went to law school. I went to law school for criminal law. I liked going to court. I liked litigation.
You like litigation?
Now I don't do any of that. So very, very good question. How did I fall into it? I graduated law school, and when I graduated in 2013, I've been doing this almost a decade now, there weren't many jobs out there. And I sent out 100 resumes, and I got 2 responses. One was a rejection, and the other one was from Diamond Law Group. It was from my now partner, Richard Klein. Mitch Diamond was with us. He retired 3 years ago. And when I saw the ad, I was like, wow, that's so strange. I said, Rich Klein, that sounds so familiar. And I had been bartending with a Lily Klein for a number of years.
Wow, okay.
And I knew that her brother was an attorney. So I said, well, wouldn't that be coincidental? I ended up calling her and I was like, hey, Lily, is this your brother? And she goes, yeah, it is. I'm like, good. Wow. Can you put in a good word?
Yeah.
And she did. And now fast forward 10 years later, and he's my partner. I'm the godfather of his son. And we're best friends. So, you know, it circles back to like what it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know, yeah.
When I graduated, there were not many jobs. So I kind of fell into real estate, and I remember thinking to myself that, you know, I'm not going to be here for a while because I wanted litigation. But I ended up being very, very good at it, and I love it. And I love real estate as a passion, not just professionally, but personally. I have investment properties, and I do further my real estate ventures that way. Nice. And it kind of just took off. I started doing some volume, and you know, money motivates people, and I started being able to pay my school loans, which is of utmost importance.
I'm thinking of my school loans now. Just
it's rough. I'm still paying them. So, but like once you have that money coming in, you're able to make ends meet, and you start saving. It's like, okay, you know, I can mess with this, and it's going to be great. And quite frankly, I was seeing the way other attorneys operate out there, and I'm like, I can do this better than them. Yeah. And I like to think that I do. So we've blown it up quite a bit, and I was able to make partner in just 3 years because of the large volume that I was doing.
I was about to ask about that. Yeah. So now you're partner. So how did that situation come about? Like, did you bring it up? Did they come to you? Like,
so look, I mean, in any business, no partner wants to bring on another partner. It cuts into profits and things of that nature. But I think that my now partner, Rich, and Mitch at the time, saw the value in me coming up. I was bringing a lot of business to the tune of more than them. And, you know, it's the way Rich put it when I positioned for that partnership. He's like, you don't fire the MVP in baseball, you give him a raise and you keep him on the team. You give him a better contract. And that's what they did. At first they gave me a raise because I was offered other positions at other firms. And then eventually when I was bringing in even more volume, I said, hey, look guys, like I could go off on my own. I don't want to do that. I love this. I love my DLG family. You know, this is where I want to be. And they saw eye to eye with me and brought me on. So I actually have a Diamond Law Group for life. I have a Diamond Law Group tattoo right on the front. Yeah. I'll show the camera. So that's one of our podcasts. Our social media marketing is our tattoos. My partner and I have the same tattoo.
Nice.
I'm all tatted up. I got my kids on the back. I got tattoos everywhere. So I'm not just a suit.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we live, breathe, and eat real estate. You know how it is. So that's how we roll.
Nice.
You know?
Talk about the team, man, because your team is amazing. Sometimes we love the attorneys, but the paralegals, you know where I'm going.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I can't, you know, I can never thank my team enough. So thank you guys. Like you are my right and left arms. You're my backbone. Without them, I couldn't do it. I mean, did I do it? Yes, I did on a much smaller scale.
Smaller scale, yeah.
We have a large operation. Without them, I couldn't be here talking with you today. Right now, they are hammering emails. They are scheduling closings. There's no interruption in service. When I leave here, everything will be addressed. all the emails are forwarded to me. So I monitor everything. You have to. You owe duty as an attorney.
Of course.
So how do I operate like that? Well, we have multiple teams within the office. I myself operate 2 buy-sell teams. So I have, we call it the elite team at Diamond Law Group, and we have the all-stars team. And then connected to that email address are 2 paralegals and myself. And again, it's all for coverage. Most attorneys do this with no paralegals, or one. Yeah. So, you know, if the attorney's in court, you may not get a response until the next day, or if the attorney's in 3 closings a day, you may not get a response. But for us, my paralegals are better than most of the attorneys out there. So I tell the girls, I say, you know, you just go in order. My staff just go in order. If you have 50 emails, it's whoever gets to it first. So if there's 2 paralegals, if they get to it first, they answer. If I get to it first, I answer. If they have a question, they'll page me.
Yeah, that's a good system. So they're not always waiting around for you to get back.
Absolutely not.
That's amazing.
Absolutely not. Because like I said, most of my staff are trained, they're better than most of the attorneys. So I rely a lot upon them. They're very well trained. Lisa, one of my paralegals, has been doing this for 13 years. She's been doing it longer than me. So yeah, I mean, look, she'll run circles around some attorneys. So it's again, they're my backbone, my team, like you said, they're everything. It's not just the attorney, it's the sum of all the parts.
Yeah. And like I know I could always email. I know Danielle's probably tired of me, but I always email Danielle. I'll call her. She's like, "Hey, what's going on, Sean?" But that person who touched, that person who touched me is a lot. And that's coming from a guy that I don't know how to delegate. Like that's my biggest issue. But I love when those emails come in. I'm like, all right, I don't have to make these phone calls.
So and I hear that a lot with other attorneys too. Like I can't delegate the work, but the fact of the matter is, you just have to stay organized and you have to train the staff. And for me to delegate, like I have to put some trust in them, or else what's the point?
What's the point?
I'll just do it myself. But yeah, I mean, look, it's all about customer service. You said like Danielle loves it. She always picks up the phone like with a smile, like she's great like that. I come from that customer service background because I was in the restaurant business. So for me, it's all about the customer service. It's all about that communication. Like I can't take when clients have a bad thing to say about me. I'll call them immediately and clarify, because I just feel that, you know, I can't take I take constructive criticism, but I can't take complaints. I don't like complaints. Nobody does. But for me, it's of utmost importance.
I'll tell you the scenario that we had. We just went into contract with another deal. You're representing the seller on that, and we went into contract in like 13 hours. Like that was the insane. I'm like, damn, these guys are good. Yeah,
man. Look, it's again the sum of all. Girls too. Sum of all parts. The other attorney was great on that. They got us the contract immediately. I think
we said the contract.
Yeah, no, but they signed immediately.
Yeah, they signed immediately.
I think it was ASOP's office. They're really good. So yeah, look, it takes 2 good attorneys on both ends to complete it. But that being said, since COVID-19, we revamped everything a little bit. Look, it's 2022. The rest of the country, they do closings via mail. They do it electronically. Like, why are we sending checks and physical signatures? So we converted over to DocuSign. Most of the contracts are signed via DocuSign. We request wires when we're selling so that we don't have to wait for overnights. The wire hits immediately. We've been in contract in 1 day. So, you DocuSign, you use wires, it speeds everything up. It's just, there's no reason that contracts shouldn't be signed within a couple days. So it shouldn't take a week.
It shouldn't take a week.
It shouldn't.
And as an agent, I used to physically drop that check off.
Oh yeah.
I admire those wires.
Got to sign before the weekend. Open houses. Like, and we get it. We get the urgency. That's why we operate the way we do. We got to keep it moving. We got to keep moving forward on the transaction.
Yeah, especially in this market. So we're in a crazy market, as you know. You're seeing a lot of things happen.
Tons of fun.
Just give us, I'm getting ahead of the thing about this thing. Give us the idea of from the attorney's part of that transaction, because there's a lot of things going on. Appraisals being waived, all this other stuff. What advice do you give?
Look, they call us counselors at law. There's a reason for that. We're not decision makers. We're counselors. We don't make decisions for our clients, or we're not supposed to. Some attorneys take it upon themselves to make those decisions, and they really shouldn't. Right? You're rolling your eyes. You know it's true. So how do we navigate this? Look, I don't tell the clients, oh, you have to waive your appraisal. I give them the ramifications of doing so. And there's ways to coach people through this, right? You're not going to just waive an entire appraisal. That would be highly detrimental. So in that instance, what I suggest to the client is speak with your loan officer. Yes, in this climate, in this market, you're absolutely right, Sean. People are waiving appraisals, they're waiving home inspections. Do we recommend that? No, as an attorney, I can't recommend that. But there's ways to massage it a little bit. By way of example, the appraisal. You don't just waive the entire thing, put a stopgap to it. Talk to your loan officer. What can you afford to waive? If you can only afford to waive 20 grand, then that's what we're going to write into the contract. Because if it goes above that and you get declined, you will lose your deposit. And we said before, nobody's trying to get hurt in these transactions. It's non-adversarial. We're all working towards the common goal. That's what we said, right? So it's not like the seller's trying to keep their deposit. So again, it's just communication. Communicate with your loan officer. We'll communicate to the sellers, this is how much we can waive. So there's ways to navigate it. And the clients, that's the first time doing this a lot of times. First time home buyers.
So everything's being thrown at them at once, and they're like a deer in headlights.
It's up to the professionals like you and I to counsel them, counselors that law, through these difficult situations and this difficult market.
Yeah. Are you seeing a lot of, because I actually got a text from what we're working on right now, they want to do a post-possession because the rates are going insane and they can only lock it for a certain amount of days.
Literally every day. Literally every day. I mean, you saw it. The rates are up at what, 5.5 now?
5.5.
And they're saying like 6% soon. So a couple months ago, we were below 4. I mean, we were below 3. So they're going up exponentially. And yes, we are seeing that. I literally had a teleconference before I came here. And I was talking to the client about it. And he's like, what do I do if the rates go up? And in our contracts, not to get off on a tangent, when the commitment's issued, you're bound. Well, if the rates go up too high and then you're declined, it's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
So it puts you in a little bit of hot water. So what we do is when we see the rates start going up, we entertain what we call pre-closing, we allow them extended possession, the seller. So we allow them to stay in the home as a courtesy. To us, really, we're asking them for a favor. We're saying, hey, you're going to stay there for 30 days or whatever through the closing date, and we're going to close early to preserve my client's rate lock. And in some instances, like I was just saying, I mean, that could be the difference between the deal going through or not. So, as the attorney, you have to communicate that to sellers. Sellers may not understand. And look, nobody wants the sellers to remain in the home post-closing because there's all sorts of liability concerns. We can draft agreements and stuff and protect the clients on both ends. It's not that big a deal, but it needs to be explained correctly. And that takes a real estate attorney. So sometimes it takes the attorney on the other side to work with you to get the transaction completed.
So for instance like that, what would someone do if they were in that situation? So if you were the seller and you wanted the buyer, they needed to do this. If the rate goes up an extra half of a point or wherever it goes, the deal's done. So what would we tell them?
So the way it works, just to explain the logistics of it, all the contract terms remain in effect and we enter into a post-closing possession agreement. And what we do is we put no landlord-tenant agreement because we don't want to start granting landlord-tenant rights because then it opens a whole other issue altogether. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, we hold money in escrow. We make sure that there's a security deposit, usually like the equivalent of 1 month's rent of a like house, and we hold that as a security to make sure that nothing is damaged. So to be honest with you, many times when sellers are selling, they're holding possession anyway because they're also buying and they need time to make moving arrangements. So if they have in the contract 5 days, we're only asking for additional time. Those terms are already in there usually for the most part. But some sellers don't want to stay there for extended times. So the way I kind of massage it, because again, we're trying to get the deal done, I say, look, seller, if I'm representing the seller, I'm like, look, we'll draft an agreement. It's going to be rock solid and I'll make sure you're protected. The only detrimental aspect of it is after closing, the attorneys are still involved because the keys aren't turned over, but we're not meeting in person. But other than that, I mean, you still have the same obligations you had under the contract, whether you close 3 weeks early or 3 weeks later. Now, the complexity to all of this is attorneys charge for this stuff. They draft agreements. They charge to draft these things, to review these things. So there is a cost to it. And usually in these instances, because the buyer is asking for a favor, the buyer will cover that cost. The attorneys will ask them to cover that cost. It all depends. Some attorneys don't charge for it. Those attorneys aren't usually great because they're just trying to get business and they charge the very low fee. Like I get asked all the time, hey, can you do the transaction for $850? And I'm like, maybe 15 years ago, but like that's not the going rate now. And there are attorneys that'll do it for $850, but not well.
You can always tell the $850 attorney. That's what I do. Sure. You can always tell the pay grade by the service, definitely.
For sure. For sure.
You guys are doing a lot of content, man. I love the social media content. It's different because you don't see a lot of attorneys do it. What got you into that space?
Okay, so I got to be honest, it was my partner.
Wasn't you?
And he's older than me. He's 40. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, he was big into the social media. What we saw is real estate agents like yourself doing podcasts and doing social media marketing. And let's be honest, I would say about 60% of my business is referral driven from my agents. At this point in my career, about 40% is referrals from past clients or prior clients buying again. So that's a big cross section. And if my referral partners, 60% of my business, are doing social media marketing and taking the time out of their busy schedules to develop content, I mean, maybe we should be doing that too. And like you said, no attorneys are out there doing it. So another thing that attorneys aren't doing, which is incredible, is the interactive website. We've had that for 15 years, and people have tried to rip it off, but they were not successful. But few and far between. You would think that there would be more portals out there, so we don't see that. And
you guys are the only ones that have it that I've noticed so far.
So we have that, and now the social media, and we're trying to. I was explaining to the crew here before we started. Like I was posting informative articles and articles about interest rates and real estate trends, and I was getting like 1 like on social media. Like nobody cares about that. They should care, but nobody cares about that stuff. I post a picture of my son in a tuxedo.
So you get like 1,000 likes
immediately. So follow us, Diamond Law Group, Facebook, Instagram. It's great.
Make sure
But take it with a grain of salt. None of it's all in good fun. We poke fun at the business. We are in a high stress business. So we do skits, we do related to real estate, and we try to get a laugh out of people like yourself. Just branding, It's not about information. It's not even soliciting clients. It's just for the laugh. And we have fun doing it, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I can tell you enjoy it. These guys have way too much fun over
there. Yeah, big distinction. I'm not doing it during the day. I do that stuff on Saturdays. I take time away from my family once a month. We film for 6 to 8 hours a day, and we develop content for the whole month, and then we do that once a month. Nice. So it's in addition to the practice that I do every day. We find it fun.
Do you think you see more traction from it? Have you been getting a lot of more attention from it?
More exposure. Yeah. It's I like the cross branding. Like we invited you to come on if you wanted to do a cameo.
Something. I got to tell you about the idea.
Yeah. So we do cameos now. So we're trying to get people involved. Like one of the ones that we're going to come out with that you're going to see us soliciting people, and we're probably going to do it more on a regular basis. Is remember when we were younger, Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, I used to love Tales.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Horror show.
We're
going to do Tales from the Closing, right? We all have great stories. We all have nightmare stories that everyone laughs at, and obviously confidential communications that you can't really, but you can speak generally. And we're going to do something like this where we sit down with an agent, and we're going to start with one of our stories, and then we're going to invite people to come and tell their stories. I always said we should write a book. I mean, not a lot of people reading books nowadays, so the digital marketing is just as good.
The book thing maybe. I mean, I still read through books. It has to grab your attention. But you guys have the personality, so I know you can pull it off.
Trying at least.
That's amazing, bro.
We like to say we're not like old crusty attorneys. We're trying to be like young and hip,
Yeah, you could. Man, I've spoken to some attorneys that wouldn't even. I had one attorney tell me straight up that I don't deal with the agents.
It's crazy.
Like I was like, what? That blew my mind. Like, what are you talking about? And it represented my client. I'm the one that gave them the client, and they.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, those attorneys, they probably don't practice predominantly real estate. Like I said, like my referral source, 60%. You're my lifeblood. If I don't, keep hand in hand with you, then I don't eat. But it's not even about that. It's about facilitating the business, right? So forget about like my family eating and me making money and being able to run my life and stuff. Like you guys facilitate the business and help me. So I appreciate that, and that's why I do speak to you, because when I can't get a response from an attorney or from buyer's counsel about scheduling an appraisal, I'm blind copying you guys are pushing.
Yeah, we're pushing.
And you'll call me up and be like, hey, this is what's going on behind the scenes, because the other attorney's not even responding. And that information to me is gold. Yeah. It's gold to my clients. I write notes on that stuff in my file so that I know what's going on. I love that. And other attorneys, maybe they're just reactive and they don't care, but I do. Yeah. That's why we do it, man. It's all about the team.
Are you looking to expand?
Good question. So 6 months ago, we opened our Smithtown office. We always did business in Nassau and Suffolk County, but we wanted to really cater to our Suffolk agents. And I don't know if I should say this on camera. I moved to Suffolk County to open that office, and agents have started to catch on to that, and that's why I said I don't know if I should mention it. But I say to them, I'm in Massapequa every other day. I split my time. I was in Massapequa yesterday. I was in Smithtown today. I'm in Massapequa tomorrow. So I go back and forth between the offices. I do a large volume in both counties. Are we looking to expand further beyond that? Yeah, absolutely. I represent a couple Hamptons builders. I do business in the Hamptons. I do business on the North Fork. And for whatever reason, people still want to see that brick and mortar, and they want you to open offices. So for me, I look at it. Yeah,
like you say, no one really even comes to the office unless you're closing, right? That's what I'm seeing. Everything is DocuSign.
Document collection, like agents like to drop documents off sometimes. They don't want to scan it. We need originals, whatever have you. So that's why we did it. Just to give you a little insight into our business, like I look at it as a business investment. So we don't rent our properties. We're real estate attorneys. We can't rent. It's against our grain. Like we just can't do that. We just can't. So we own both of our buildings. So there's, if for any business owners out there, you want to pick my brain on it, like we take SBA financing. It's really easy. It has to be 51% owner occupied. You put down a low down payment. And like I said, it's an investment for the future. So it's an asset that now my partner and I own.
That you hold.
And we further our business by using it. So yeah, I think we'll probably open another office Hamptons, and maybe a Nassau North Shore office. Just to
not going out of state, no Florida office?
No, if we took on other partners that are admitted and stuff, maybe. We toyed with Florida because we have a lot of clients that move.
That's why I'm asking that. Yeah.
I mean, you see it now. Everyone's moving to Florida. It's crazy.
Florida.
So maybe if we took on another attorney, I'm tired, man. I don't want to take another bar. Like, you know, yeah, you got to take another test. Nowadays they have like a uniform bar that they could take, but that was after my time, and like I'd have to take a whole nother test.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm good.
I hear you. Get another partner for that one.
Yeah, right, exactly. But they got to share our values. So I want to talk about that also. We just took on a partner here in Suffolk County.
You took a new partner?
A junior partner,
okay.
Yeah. Steve Ciliato. He's a great guy. He's known in the business for anybody that's watching in Suffolk County. He does more than just real estate closings. He does commercial. He does land use and zoning. He does LLC formation. He does landlord-tenant, which is huge in real estate.
That's huge.
Yeah, so we're trying to expand the practice areas a little bit by servicing the clients and offering more services.
You do commercial.
Yeah, commercial's huge.
I'm going to need you for. We'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
Definitely need it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Steve's like us, and that's why I brought it up. He's just like us. He operates like us. He communicates well. He dresses nice.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important.
It makes sense. I saw one of your concerts. You guys were like suit shopping, right? You guys get custom suits made. I've been watching them. I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's kind of the thing. Like we have custom suits. It's a Madmen Barbershop makes a lot of our suits.
This suit is dope.
Yeah, thanks, man. So Madmen Barbershop. They're in Massapequa. They have another one in Williston Park. They actually cut hair, but the owner is a tailor, and man, does this guy have an eye for detail?
Really?
I mean, just meticulous detail everywhere. I mean, cigar pockets. You got stitching. Yeah, he's great, man. He's really, really good. So, but yeah, that's part of the culture that we promote. You know, I'd like to say on Long Island, people ask me what I'm known for. Well, I'm known for my nice suits, and I'm known for communication. Like that's our thing. That's our brand.
Yeah.
I have an attorney, Jeff Stern, if you're watching. He's a great guy. Older guy in Mineola. Every time he emails me, he goes, Mr. Suit, Mr. Suit. He's like, best dressed attorney on Long Island. He cracks jokes about it, and like we all laugh. But it's good. It's all in good fun.
Nah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I mean, we covered a lot, bro. Yeah. I think you gave me a lot. I'm definitely going to talk to you about that.
I speak quick, so fast.
Yeah. We got to get him out of here because he got some closing to do. You got to make the money. But give me information. Give some information before you leave. So give me your contact, give me the Instagram. All that stuff. Absolutely.
Nomenclatures are easy on the social media platforms. Just Diamond Law Group, very, very simple. Office line 516-663-5151. Again, tech savvy, so you call that number, it rings in both offices, and staff will pick up in either office, even though it's a 516 area code. You can always reach me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at john@diamondlawgroup.com. I take huge pride in answering very promptly, as Sean can attest to, usually within minutes, if not within the hour for sure. So yeah, check us out. Any questions? I always tell agents, I give a lot of continuing ed courses, and I say during the course of that, like if you don't refer me and you don't want to, that's fine. But if you want candid advice, you have another attorney working on the transaction, you need some advice, just call me up. I'm happy to help. I'm always there as a resource. We're neighborhood people. Massapequa and Smithtown, we're known in the communities, so we're trying to get out there in that regard too and help the community. So anything we can do to help, whether professionally or otherwise, we're here for you.
Nice, that's the man to go to. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Man.
We out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was good. See?
Yeah, that's good.
I like that.
I didn't sweat too much, right?
Nah, you didn't sweat too much.
Is that all right?